My name is Jordan Johnson. I just want to kind of talk about where I started. I've been playing drums for about 8 or 9 years now. I think it's an awesome story. Most people, go take lessons, go do this and that, and I never really took lessons to start. I taught myself by ear, and I would love going to like Japanese restaurants or anywhere I could eat sushi and get a pair of chopsticks. And I always keep a pair in my stick bag or in my touring cases or wherever the gear is. There's always a pair of chopsticks around just to kind of remind me of where I came from. I remember the day I was setting my mind to drums. I took chopsticks home one night and I was playing just we had so that the house I lived in at the time had a house and then the garage, but in between the two was like a section that led to the front yard and to the backyard. And I was out there for maybe an hour and a half or so listening to the same song, playing chopsticks on my legs as if they were drums. And that song was Lane Boy by 21 Pilots. That's a whole separate conversation for another day. But the drummer, Josh Dunn, was who, I emulated sound-wise. I would always listen with headphones on and just do the best I could. And, I'll still do that from time to time, but now I'm at the point where I feel like I can write and record and, go try to be the rock star myself. So along with a guy like Josh Dunn, there's several other drummers that have taught me a lot about, just technique, showmanship, and like just being your own drummer. Some of those guys are Travis Barker from Blink-182. There's a guy in a band called Two. The band he is in is called Sleep Token. Nick Folio from a band called Bad Omens. They're all, huge heavy hitters. I play from up here, and I like to beat the crap out of these things. So that's usually where I have to tend to look. I'm not, a big like jazz guy or anything. So all of my guys kind of get some heat for the way they play and whether or not they're, I guess, good at what they do. But I love their showmanship. I love their ability to have an impact as just the drummer. The drummer's often, the forgotten one, along with like the bass player in a band. And those guys are the backbones of their band. Whether they get the credit for that or not, they're definitely who inspires me as a musician. But then there's other things like that push me to work hard and try to write songs with messages that I hope would connect with other people the way I've been connected with. I've got stuff hanging all over my rooms. This is an album cover. It's a Funko Pop from an album cover of Linkin Park, and they were just a big part of my life growing up. And I want to be impactful, and that kind of inspires me. If I can inspire someone else to find that outlet for them, whether that be, writing a book or, becoming a professional skateboarder or, a drummer or learning how to use gear or, doing video stuff, that would be, that's what I want to do. That's the impact I want to leave. And I think this has given me the most confidence to express those ideas. And I really just, that's what I want my legacy to be, through drums. Speaking of legacy, just things that I'll be able to tell my kids. I would love to, in future episodes go over, my gear. I could talk about that forever. Tour stories, specific albums. And today, in that same vein, I'm going to go over an album that is currently relevant to me, one that I really like, and just talk a little bit about it, some of my favorite songs on it, and, go from there. So my weekly, I guess, recommendation, it's a physical vinyl that I have. I've got a few different versions of it because they came in some pretty cool patterns and designs. But this is an album called Clancy by 21 Pilots. Again, they're the band that kind of taught me how to play while I was teaching myself. This album came out this year, I think in May. It's awesome because as you grow as a musician, you start to feel like you're plateauing a little bit in terms of, man, I want to be challenged. I need more practice because I find myself playing the same, patterns or songs or just not progressing, and it's a hard thing to get out of. But this album was kind of challenging in that way. There's a lot of weird songs that showcase a different side of Josh Dunn's drumming and just the way he is as a performer, and it's awesome. Some of my favorite tracks on it are Routines in the Night. Another one is At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. Those are some of my favorite songs, I think, from them as artists, period. But the challenging ones for sure are a song called Midwest Indigo and a song called Navigating. Maybe I'll play those for a video one day in the future. I would like to find an album, maybe I'll do this next time, an album that I've never heard and just listen through it, give it my honest review, and then go from there. But this week, I would suggest that you check out Clancy by 21 Pilots. It's a great album. I think it's some of their best work, and it's definitely worth the listen. I think that'll do it for my first episode of this podcast. I think I'm going to call it 15 Minutes of Fame, regardless of if I'm even close to that time frame. But yeah, I can't wait to do it again next week, and leave some suggestions about what we should talk about next time and albums that I should check out. And if you got any questions, leave those down below as well. See ya.